Sky Bet League 2 has a new leader. As we break down an entertaining weekend, it's Swindon. Even though the league leaders Gillingham won, Swindon went above them. On goals scored, they beat Harrogate by 3-1. This is attacking football at its best at the level. This is George Elek's nightmare. Swindon Town basically being the entertainers of English football. They are the top goal scorers in the top 4 tiers. They've had the most shots on target in the top 4 tiers. They are absolutely sparkling. They've scored 3 goals in 3 straight league games, and they did so here from behind. They're not that good defensively, is the sort of whisper that. That's fine. Doesn't matter if you score 3 a game. But they were opened up a couple of times by a Harrogate side who are a threat on the break. Cass with a nice through ball. Muldoon scored at the second time of asking. But because they just live being a gung-ho team, they don't get knocked when they go 1-0 down at home to Harrogate. Think how many teams could be looking pretty good and pretty well set and then go behind and then the confidence goes. And with Swindon, it was almost the opposite. They looked even more dynamic, even more intent, and scored 3 great goals. Snowden to Clark for the equaliser. Ollie Clark, that is. Just showed that when the ball's out wide, they really pack the box with numbers, and that bore fruit there. What a move for the second goal. Glatzel's been looking really good in the last couple of weeks. Everyone knows that he's an excellent player that just hasn't been able to stay fit very often, but he is now, and he's looking like an excellent player. There's quite a lot of guys in League 2 that fit that bill, sort of talented players that have struggled to stay fit for long periods of time and have started the season really, really well, and you just cross your fingers that they don't get a hamstring injury in the next couple of weeks. Munro involved in that one as well. And then an electric third goal where Clark played it through to Drinan, and the confidence in his finish to take it inside and find the far corner. We've not seen that from Drinan for a long time, but he's got 5 and 4 and you can kind of see it. They had 21 shots inside the box. That's I'd be surprised if anyone beats that this season. And what else can you say? They basically blew Harrogate away in the second half. And yeah, bringing Ollie Palmer off the bench is a pretty good option to have at the moment. We talked about playing with a target man versus just playing with a load of fluid, quick, skillful attacking players, midfielders who like to run forward and pass forward in Clark and Nichols and Kilkenny and players like that. It's really, really exciting. I don't know what else to say. Maybe defensive vulnerabilities will be exposed against better sides, but we'll wait and see. Because at the moment, they're the team to watch in League 2 from a neutral point of view. They go to Salford next up and then Bromley at home. So a couple of tough fixtures to come. Let's celebrate Aki getting their first win of the league season, Gladly. George. They beat Colchester 1-0.
A tale of 2 Isaacs. Yeah, they were good first half. And Isaac Heath came very close.
Lively.
Yeah, with a really, really, like one of those, he got the ball in the middle of the park and just ran.
Yeah.
And just ran and kept beating players and nearly scored.
On loan from the Ev.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, because then
I gather he's looked bright in
it was
in all
Isaac
his games
Sinclair who then scored the goal. Isaac Sinclair, who was signed from Curzon Athletic.
Curzon Ashton.
Curzon Ashton.
Yeah.
That's awful. I feel bad to the fans.
But you're an EFL expert, mate, not a National League North
but it's
expert.
just the disrespect.
Oxford used to be around that level against your Northwich Victorias. You knew all the names then, didn't you?
Don't just tar the whole of non-league with the same brush.
Did I go to a game at the Cass with you in the Skrill days or whatever it was at that time?
What was it? It was before Vanarama.
Was there a team called VCD?
No.
Huh.
UCD is University College Dublin.
Right, okay.
I know that because they had a very good defender in Champman 0102.
VCD Athletic.
Someone Delaney.
VCD
not Damien.
Athletic.
They did not play any...
A semi-professional club based in Crayford in South East London.
Okay, they did not play in the National League or National League North or South.
Yeah, okay.
We played the glamour of Histon. We lost. We got battered by Histon once, which is probably the nadir of Oxford United's history. No disrespect to Histon. Look at me just disrespecting all these non-league clubs. Curzon Ashton. So 2 Isaacs, one an academy grad at Everton, and then Sinclair, a non-league football grad from Curzon, both lighting up the first half here. Colchester were really poor, and Danny Cowley said as much post-game. He effectively said that fans who had to get up early and travel were basically treated to absolutely nothing. Nearly had a moment of quality that led to the equaliser very late in the game, but ended up leading to a red card with Aurora Edwards with an unbelievable couple of touches and then just basically kicking the Accrington keeper right in the jugular and getting his marching orders, which was
it looks so bad that when I slowed it down, I genuinely think he makes contact with the ball before the keeper does.
Yeah,
but it's still dangerous play.
Of course it is,
obviously.
But given that he's done a flick and then a touch and he's beating the defender, he's not going to then be like, okay, keeper's got it.
It wasn't quite the flying kung fu kick that I thought it was initially.
I wouldn't say so. But yeah, this is big for Accrington. It's a regulation 1-0 home win, which could have been more when they've deserved it. And given their poor start to the season, very, very important that this happened. And a performance level that, if we see this being the norm going forward, then they should pick up more wins.
Gillingham beat Notts 1-0. Still unbeaten under Gareth Ainsworth. 20 in the league in total, I think 17 of them under Ainsworth, with, of course, the caveat that they got fortunate last time out against Bromley with the late penalty equaliser, after which Gareth McCleary, who won the penalty, was banned for diving, which was kind of surprising. You don't really see the authorities bother that much to clamp down on simulation, and Lord knows if they wanted to, they'd be able to find quite a few examples, I think, of players changing the direction in which they're running in order to draw contact and winning contact, rather.
You
and
could
drawing
drop a
pens.
contract.
I was surprised that they suspended McCleary for that, even though I think if you look at the incident in isolation, it's fairly clear that he was trying to win a penalty and it shouldn't have been, and that was, Anyway, missing here, they didn't miss him because they've got baby Zigic, Josh Andrews up front, and anyone who listens to the betting show knows that Josh Andrews is looking, finally, really bang at it. With his height, he's always a sort of player like an Aaron Presley, for example, that clubs at this level are going to look at. And even if they don't have a great goal-scoring record elsewhere, they're going to think we can get loads out of them in terms of being an aerial threat, and maybe we'll be the one to coax goals out of them. And maybe it's not that surprising that Ainsworth looks like the first manager to really do that with Andrews. He turned a not great cross from Hutton, which is basically behind him, into something amazing with just a brilliantly guided and powerful header into the corner. And I'm really excited to see him in rhythm. Ainsworth moved away from three at the back here, which I thought was a pretty bold call, given that Notts pitch up with Dennis and Jatta starting up front. Two really good physical strikers for the level. But Mackenzie was moved into midfield where he's more comfortable and looked more comfortable. And Gale and the other centre-back, whose name has escaped me as I speak, did very, very well to cope with that threat. So still unbeaten. For the third time in their history, they're eight unbeaten to start the season, Gilles. And both times they've won promotion. What a start to the season. Won by a bit of brilliance from the head of Josh Andrews. Now, Bristol Rovers have won 4 in a row. George, their vanquished foe, Barrow, have lost 3 in a row. And Andy Wing, I'm sad to say, because I know you love him, was sounding pretty exasperated after this one.
Yeah. I had some pre-season concerns about Barrow and the quality of their squad. And, I would argue that criticism of Wing will inevitably come if it carries on, but I'm not entirely sure that he's the problem. I think it's just quite a poor League Two side as it stands at the moment. Albeit, you can't really legislate for the first goal. Josh McEachran doesn't misplace many things, but he really misplaced a cross here that just flew into the top right-hand corner.
There's just something so perfect. I think it's his first goal for 7 years.
2018, yeah.
It's like, technically, he is someone that almost never does something that he doesn't mean to do because he's so good technically, and what it took was 40-mile-an-hour wind.
Yeah. Well, he said when he hit it, it was basically going out of play, and then he sort of could just drift into the top corner. And then a big moment for their Fabrizio Cavin, their Swiss striker, who is yet to score in the league, scored 2 in the EFL Trophy against Spurs with a nice taken goal to make it 2-0. Barrow came back into the side in the second half with Mahoney scoring with 20 minutes or so to go, and they came close late on to stealing a point. But Bristol Rovers would have felt pretty frustrated had they squandered the lead. They were by far the better team at 0-0, albeit under some pressure late on. And their good run continues. For Barrow, I am concerned. This is where you look at in League Two at who are the worst teams in the league. Newport seem an obvious candidate to occupy one of those positions, and there are a couple more. But I still think Barrow, the perception still is that they should be too good for that stuff, but I'm not sure myself.
Yeah, they were very unhappy with a penalty incident not given Barrow's way. I think I'm right in saying that the infringement was given against Fletcher, the Barrow player, but 4 in a row for Gas. Salford beat Shrews by 3-1.
Daniel
Udo in League 2.
Might be too good.
Yeah, Daniel Udo in League 2, though.
Yeah.
It looks wrong. It is wrong. He just looks quicker, stronger. He's done some really good stuff in the air already, which I don't remember him doing much for the last couple of seasons. And very powerful shot on his left foot, which in League 1 has been beneficial for him, but in League 2 looks like it's going to take him a lot further. He scored the first and third for Salford here against Shrews, the team that made him, really. The team that have dropped down to League 2 and now have to watch a team in Salford basically be able to buy players that they could only dream of buying, even though they're the ones that kind of made their careers in League 1.
Yeah, when we broke the news of Udo's imminent move to Salford, a lot of Shrewsbury fans replied being like, "Oh my God, we're playing them after the international break."
Yeah,
and he's going to score against us, and he did
twice. Yeah, Notty Towers. Has there ever been a transfer news outlet to get 10 out of 10 right to start their transfer breaking career?
Nope.
We are yet to get one wrong. Your favourite transfer reporter could never. Woodburn had scored a free kick to make it 2-1. The obvious bright spot for Shrewsbury is that Sam Kluks' goal was assisted by Isaac England, 17-year-old central midfielder.
Ooh.
Been in the academy since he was 5.
Only 12 years ago.
Played 90 the other day against Accrington. Came on early here and played a really nice, the vision, the execution, the pass, even the trajectory of it, the technique of it, beautiful. And maybe these comparisons aren't very helpful, but given this is an audio medium and you can't see what I'm talking about right now, let me tell you that the kid's got a touch of the Adam Whartons about his build and about his skill set. I've heard and read a couple of Appleton quotes about him, and he just keeps talking about his passing ability. Gets it, passes forward. Gets it, passes forward. That's Adam Wharton.
Like it.
So we look forward to seeing more of Isaac England, because this is no charity case. This looks like a really, really interesting and exciting young player. Salford, I think we're both kind of scratching our heads. I am literally right now, because they're very clearly a high ceiling team. I think they've got a pretty low floor as well, and makes them quite entertaining to follow and to cover, but it means I don't really know what the score is going to be in any particular Salford City game. With Udo up top and Stockton and Namai and Cisse and all these other players they have, they're going to have games where they win 3-1 at Shrews, but we haven't seen that in every game from them so far. George, watching the Crewe 1, Barnet 2 highlights.
Absolutely mad.
It felt like a bit of a sort of fever dream, or like one of those VHS videos from back in the day. That was like football's craziest stuff, except it's all in one highlights package in the same game.
Yeah, well, the first half, nothing happened. Like, the first half was a real half that happened. But yeah, the second half was mad. We saw yet again how good Tommy O'Reilly can be from the edge of the box, dispatching a lovely shot past Kieran Slicker in the Barnet goal to make it 1-0 to Crewe, and then Barnet fought back. Shortly afterwards, Liam Love leading the line for Barnet with a tap in, albeit I have no idea what Crewe were doing defensively here. Like, it was really strange. If you watch the goal back, there are kind of 4 defenders defending the near post, and Love and I think Glover behind him just have one defender between them. And when the ball comes in, he can't really believe that it's just a regulation cross and tap in for Love. And then the carnage starts with 2 penalties given to Crewe. The first is missed by, I think, Josh March. Missed the first one with a really good save from Kieran Slicker. The second looks like a really, really soft penalty, but again, the referee gave it. Sanders this time, and Slicker dives to his left, but Sanders puts it down the middle. He makes a save with his feet. It ricochets up, hits the crossbar. Slicker gets up and has no idea where the ball is. He does that thing where he's looking around him, looking for where it is before it gets cleared away. And having missed 2 penalties, Crewe then concede, Ryan Glover scoring his first EFL goal for Barnet. And even though, the weird thing about this game is that even though they missed 2 penalties, Crewe, Barnet always carried a threat in the game. And you can't say it was undeserved because they saved 2 penalties and they created enough chances themselves to win it. So a big win for Barnet, whose away form has been very good this season. They've got to sort out what's going on at the Hive. Crewe's stuttering continues after such a promising start.
2 reasons to be really pleased for 2 Barnet players here. One, Slicker in goal, right? He's the guy that made his debut for Scotland before he'd ever played a club league match on loan from Ipswich, when he's like Scotland's 4th, 5th choice, and then got thrust into the game and had an absolute shocker in front of a nation of fans. So I kind of love that he's had his big moment now. 2 penalty saves to win a game at senior level. Really, really pleased for him. And Leon Love, his first EFL goal. He's 30 years old in Love, and he has really, really done it the hard way. His first non-league clubs were Oadby Town and Holbeach United, sort of teams that you'd be disrespectful to, probably, because you
I probably have been.
Hate non-league teams like VCD Athletic.
Whoa.
Crawley 2, Cheltenham 0, Harry McCurdy's on 1 at the moment. And as always, it's box office stuff. You can't really keep your eyes off it.
Yeah, scoring both the goals and missing one of the easiest chances of the whole season before that. A cross came in, he was at the back post on his own, and he managed to kind of almost step over the ball rather than make any proper connection with the cross. But shortly afterwards, he made up for it with a brilliantly taken goal. The ball kind of over the top. He plucks it out of the air beautifully onto his right foot and then just bends it into the bottom right-hand corner. And then tucks away the penalty really well to make it 2-0 into the bottom left-hand corner. Again, a really soft penalty, I would say. Cheltenham's team is looking better, I would say, in terms of like on the paper team. Like in the summer, you look at their team and you wonder where the quality is. You know, you've now got Miller and Hutchison behind Angle. Archer's still there, of course, from his loan back. You know, there's enough there, you think, to improve them. Showing, of course, who came in over the summer. But they were outclassed here by a Crawley team who are very much in the ascendancy, and continued fears, I guess, for Cheltenham, despite the win last time out prior to this game. But Crawley are a team to look out for. They are way, way better than they were in the first couple of games of the campaign.
Oldham beat Bromley by 1-0. They got their first win the other weekend, and it's just loosened things up a little bit because they're a good team, George. They're a good team. Like you, going downstairs, staying at a Mediterranean hotel and looking at the breakfast options at the buffet. Mellon looks good. Michael Mellon scored the winner the other day. Did a really nice move. Basically just made Omar Shomi rethink everything he's ever done in his life. Spun him inside out. Didn't score though, because Mike Fondop did. Fondop is very popular within the Oldham fan base for just giving his all at all times. He's a fantastic aerial target man and focal point. He's not always been an incredible goal scorer or scorer of goals. And to start this season, obviously with Quigley and with Drummond and Fondop as well, I think some of the Oldham fans have been looking individually at the top of the pitch and wondering whether those guys have the quality. Fondop hit the bar, stayed with it, back post header, classic Fondop. Wins the game for Oldham. Everyone absolutely buzzing for him. It was really, really good scenes there. So Oldham looking really good overall, I would say. Broke down their numbers last week. You know, we're looking at underlying numbers-wise, one of the strongest defensive teams and a team that's creating plenty. That's a good combo. They did have their goalkeeper Hudson to thank for these 3 points because he made a simply incredible save in the second half in order to secure the win. And it means that Bromley lose their unbeaten record as well. So not an easy team to beat. And Oldham, massively a team to watch, massively a team to watch over the next 4 to 6 weeks. If they keep playing like this with the confidence that the good results might give them, massive team to watch, Oldham. 4-1 all draws in League Two, George, including a game between the 2 pre-season favourites for the division in Chesterfield and in MK Dons. We saw a Russian Hepburn Murphy goal. We saw a vintage Tom Naylor near post flick and a 1-1 draw. Yeah,
it wasn't a classic, was it?
No.
MK didn't create. They only had 4 shots in the game, I think. The goal was very well taken by Hepburn Murphy. Good kind of interplay between him and Callum Patterson. Patterson had come close before that. Chesterfield then, piled on some pressure without being particularly, and they've got their goal from a set piece with 5 or so minutes to go. Paul Warne will be very frustrated they couldn't see the game out. But this is, I'm sure that MK and Chesterfield will probably both finish in the top 7 this season. But I think there's barely any evidence at hand at the moment to suggest they're the 2 best teams in the league. And this was definitely not a game of kind of high quality to support the idea that they are. And there are lots of other good teams in this league. So I'm intrigued by both right now.
I'm not sure the League Two preseason favourites have won the League Two for as long as we've been doing the pod.
Yeah.
So it happens quite a lot, doesn't it, really? Harry, who's an MK fan on the squad, pointing out the injury crisis they've got at the back of the pitch.
Yes.
Mellish and Tomlinson, the 2 left backs, suspended and injured. The right backs, Gethin Jones and Kane Wilson, both injured. Wilson's out till January already, which is a real shame. Of the centre backs, only Ekpiteta and Offord were available here. Maguire, Sanders, Thompson, all injured.
Yeah.
Which means they had to play Aaron Nemain at left back and Connor Lemony Evans at right back. Fair play not to lose, basically.
Yeah.
Grimsby 1, Cambridge 1, 1-0 to Cambridge, a nice counter-attack, and Adam Mayer with a nice hit. Really excited to see him nail down a place in this Cambridge side, left-sider that I really like and still very young, who Harris will know from Millwall, from whom he's on loan. 97th minute, clumsy from Kouassi inside the box. Penalty, Jays Kabia, having missed 2 penalties already in the league this season, and scored 1, we should say. Steps up. Saved again, Jays. Probably your last one, that.
And this wasn't a great. I mean, I've stood up for him because I thought the last 2 were quite good pens that were well saved and would normally go in. This one, it's a classic case where, if the keeper dives the right way, he saves that because you kind of hit it just left of centre at quite a nice height.
Yeah. The good news for Jays and Grimsby is that Amaluzor equalised following in the rebound in the 97th minute. Dave Bartel saying it was probably their worst performance of the season and was therefore fairly happy to get a point, albeit loads of digs at Cambridge and the way they approached this game and turning it into a fight and fouling all his players all the time. So that could be quite a spicy return fixture. Tranmere drew 1-1 with Newport, Jaden Joseph putting Tranmere ahead. And they're playing against a team that have lost 5 in a row, and you kind of think that Tranmere will see that out, and the last couple of weeks have just been a little underwhelming, haven't they? Zanev made some remarkable saves, 1 or 2 of them that looked like they might be over the line, but potentially weren't, and certainly weren't given as such. And then Courtney Baker-Richardson with a fantastic swivel volley to equalise with a couple of minutes to go. Only his 3rd league goal of 2025, and Newport just really need him fit for an extended period of time. He adds so much to their attacking line. David Hughes had made a tactical change to go with wingers, a 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3. That's what fans wanted to see, and I think it brought the best out of Camwa. They don't have that many wide forwards, to be honest, but it looks like he's going to play Reindorf on the left, Camwa on the right. Got Spellman off the bench who can play either side. And I think, pretty impressive when you're staring 6 straight defeats in the face away at Tranmere to come back and make sure you break that streak. They've got Gills waiting for them this weekend. Lastly, Fleetwood 1, Walsall 1.
Yeah, a 1-1 draw. Both goals coming in the first half. Not much between the 2 sides. Some really good play by Norwood in the build up for the first goal. Then nicely taken by Graydon. Carnu getting 2-2. I think it is for Walsall now on his loan from Charlton to make it 1-1. But also kind of doing what they do pretty well in the second half and seeing the game out without conceding too much, but also not creating a great deal themselves. So a point between 2 decent sides, I would say.
Good weekend in Sky Bet League 2.